First thing we have to do is be honest. We don't have anything like majority support for legal reforms beyond cannabis. But with regard to cannabis itself, in the US they now have over 50% support, which is why the ballots, the statewide ballots, where they've legally regulated cannabis, keep moving, and they will continue to keep moving. In the UK we now have over 50% support in the general population for legalisation and regulation and decriminalisation of cannabis. So again, that grows year on year on year, and that is because exposure to informed debate only takes the public in one direction. It's away from prohibition and towards legal regulation and control. In terms of real world change, where it's happened is the US and Uruguay. In the US, they have had over 50% support in statewide ballots that has enabled them to legally regulate. In Uruguay, support in the public has never reached more than 40%. Now, despite this, President Mujica and his coalition government went ahead and put those reforms in place and legally regulated cannabis, despite the fact that the citizens weren't as supportive as they are, for instance, in the States. They've done that because it was the right thing to do. It was the right thing to do for the government, the right thing to do for the state, which was concerned, they were concerned about security, and the right thing to do for the public. So they haven't waited for the public to move. They know that in their role, in terms of protecting the citizenry, it was the right thing to do, so they did it. We need more leadership like that. And we're getting it, so that you've had this shift from former world leaders who would fall over themselves to call for legalisation and regulation when they left office, and now doing it whilst they're incumbents, whilst they're still in office. They're saying, we need to change. We want to leave the Prohibition Party and come and join the legalisation and regulation one instead, where things will be much better. Lastly, one of the reasons why world leaders feel capable of doing that is because of a change in the media environment. Right across the media spectrum, from left to right, there is increasing support for reform. And it's partly because those guys have to sell newspapers and they need to have their finger on the public's pulse. But whatever the reasons, the environment in which they're moving is very different from the very reactionary one that existed before, where they would be vilified for coming out and calling for reform. So reform is happening, it's growing, and it will continue to do so, and long may it continue.